Hi guys, welcome to the Deck Box. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's very important to you today. Newer players and older players should be able to learn something from this video. Today we're going to talk about Sealed, a format that doesn't get played that often, but around pre-release season it gets played a lot, because on pre-release there's going to be about 2 to 3 to maybe 4 to maybe 5 events that you'll go to, all of which will be sealed most likely. So let's talk today about how to make a good sealed deck, because if you're new to the game, you probably won't know because maybe you haven't even played in a sealed event before. So let's jump right into it. When you play sealed, you're going to get 6 packs of the set that's coming out. So in this case, tonight, Gatecrash pre-release, we're going to be getting 6 packs of Gatecrash, which is pretty exciting, guys. But you got to know what to do with those packs to make a decent deck. So there's a few steps that we're going to take, and literally you can just follow these steps when you get your packs tonight, and it's going to make you do a little better, I think, if you don't know what you're doing, right? So this is what you should do. So you open all of your packs. Now as you're opening your packs, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take the cards that you're opening and sort them into colors and also into artifacts, multicolored spells, and of course your hybrid spells and your land. Now basics won't matter, you can just put those aside, but non-basic lands make sure you keep separate as well, just so you can see what you have. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and open all 6 of our packs, sorting them out that way. Now once that's finished, this is the part that's maybe a little bit more difficult for new players, but hopefully if you played a little bit you know what's good, what's not good, and definitely reading the spoiler is going to help you so much here, because you're going to already have an idea of what's good, what's not. You're not going to have to look at every single card because you're just going to already know. But you know, you might have to look at some cards because you don't remember them that well, whatever. But the next step is we're going to go in between all of our different color sortings and all the different piles, and from those piles we're going to make 2 piles out of each one. And we're going to take the playable cards, which is just like cards that are very good and that you actually would want to play in a deck, and separate them from the cards that are no good. And yeah, that's very relative to like what you think is good, what you don't think is good. And that's something that's going to come with time and come with practice, but still, from your best idea, you're going to have to look at those cards and decide whether or not you want to play them in the deck. Now, sort of a rule or tip here is when you're looking at cards and you're saying, well, this card's okay in this situation, or, oh, well, this card's good with this other card, but only that other card, that doesn't mean it's good. Like, probably don't put that in your playable list. Like, you want to just keep only the cards that are very good, okay? Because in Magic, you want to only be playing the good cards, especially in Limited, not the ones that are kind of okay. Alright, so once we've done that, we've gone through every single pile again and sorted out the playables, then we're going to judge what colors we're going to want to go into. It's not until then, okay? A lot of people, they'll sort their piles out and then they'll go, oh, look how much blue I have, and look how much red I have, and that's fine, but just having a lot of a pile doesn't mean that you have a good, a large amount of good cards in that pile. Right? But once you've sorted out the playable cards, the good cards, then you can look at those good piles, right, and decide what you actually have the most of. So you have the most of the red good cards, or, the white good cards, and then you can make a decision based on that as to what colors you're going to want to go into. Now, what I'm going to tell you here is don't be too greedy, right? A lot of players will look at these cards and go, but, like, I've got, great stuff in these 3 colors, but in this one other color, look at these bombs. It's like, well, yeah, but you have to decide, right? Now, if you want, you can go into every color, have every basic land in your deck and all that, but you're going to give up consistency. So what I'm going to tell the newer players is keep to 2 or 3 colors, okay? Look for the most amount of good cards in those colors, and pick 3 or 2 colors if you can. Most likely it's going to be about 3 because of all these multicolored spells right now. Like 3 colors is a very good spot to be, don't worry about that. But yeah, so you're going to take those colors, and we're going to make a deck out of those. So what you'll do is you take those playables, you find some synergies between them, and then you start hammering out a deck list for your event. Okay, so so let's say you're very, very good in red, white, and blue, let's say. So you'll take those playables, you'll put them together, and this is the biggest cut you're going to make, is you're going to take the rest and you're going to put it in another pile. Okay, you're not even looking at that anymore for the time being. Now you're looking at the playables that you have as what's going to be your deck list, okay? So you'll look at those cards, and then you're going to go back and look at your multicolored cards and your hybrid cards, because those are going to push you around as well. So you're going to look at those cards and see if you want those in your deck or not. There's definitely going to be some cards in there that are going to match your color coordination and are going to be very strong. So you'll take those and you'll put them in your deck as well. Look at artifacts, see if there's any that apply there. Look at land, see if there's any that apply there. What's really important here that a lot of players make a mistake on is they'll look at their dual, like if they get a dual land in their seal pool or whatever, and let that push them into a color. Don't bother. Mana fixing isn't going to be that essential in a limited environment, because you're not going to be hitting that first turn. You don't have a play set of your watery graves or whatever. You have one, possibly. Now, that one will help you if you're already in those colors. If you're already in those colors from your playables, awesome, throw that land in. It's going to help you out in some games. But don't let those lands push you around. No point. And like, you can play guild gates if they're in your colors, but obviously like don't let those push you into colors, because there's no point. So then you have the basis of your deck. Now once you have the basis of your deck, you can go back to the cards that you previously labeled as unplayables. You're going to want to go back into that pile and look through them one more time. Now what you're doing here is you're looking through those cards to see if you've missed synergies with the cards that are playables. Right? So you remember how I said, if you have that one card but it's only good with these other cards, and it's like, it's not good enough, don't play it in the playable list, then at this point, when you're looking back over those cards, you can look at that card and go, hey, I do have the synergies here, and you do put it in the deck, okay? Because certain cards are good if they have other synergies. So now you have your basis playable deck, so you have all these cards that are very good, but most likely you're going to have more cards than you're going to want in your deck, because it is a 40 card minimum, okay? And you always want to have 40 cards in your limited deck, never go above. The more you go above, the less consistency you have, and the more crap cards you have. Okay, because whether you know it or not, one of those cards that you left in your deck is the worst card. Cut it, okay? So, you have your playable deck, it's above the limit, above the amount of cards that you want. So at this point what you're going to do is you're going to take all those cards that you have in your playable deck, and you're going to sort it out and convert a mana cost, alright? So you're going to look at those cards, and you're going to sort it between 1 CMC, 2 CMC, 3 CMC, 4, 5, 6, and even 7, and as far as it goes, alright? Now, CMC, if you don't know, means converted mana cost. It means the total amount of mana it costs to play a spell. Alright, so what you're going to do now is you're going to look at those spots, which is called your curve. See how much you have at each level of your play. So like basically it's going to be turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, hopefully, if you're hitting all your land drops. So you're going to see how continuous your plays are going to be, because in Limited it's a really big deal to just keep curving out. Every turn you want to be playing the next level spell. You want to be keep dropping things on the table, because that's what's going to make you win in a limited game. Is if you just keep having steam and keep putting things and keep putting pressure on the board, that's what's going to make you win a limited game. Alright, so at that point you're going to start making cuts. So you're going to count the cards you have. You're going to want 23 cards. Alright, you want 23 cards in your deck so that you can have 17 lands. Very, very basic. There's going to be some changes there once you get a little bit more experience. But for now, you're going to want 23 non-land spells, and you're going to want 17 lands. So you're going to count your cards, literally, and then you're just going to find out how much above 23 you are, and you're going to cut that many. But as you're cutting, you're going to want to make sure that you have a good amount of spells on each slot, and you're going to just want to curve out so that at the end of your curve, where you're getting to your 5 mana, 6 mana spells, you obviously have less because you don't want to load up on those. You just want those to be a finisher, right? So you want maybe 2 6 mana spells, something like that. You want a couple fatties to finish the game. All right. So once you've cut down to 23 spells, now you're just going to add your land, and this is a very simple part. For me, what I like to do is I like to just count the amount of symbols on your cards. So if you're playing a white-blue deck, you'll go through your whole deck and you'll just count how many blue symbols there are on all of the costs of your cards. So say a 3 CMC creature with 1 blue requirement, that's a 1. So you just count 1 and you keep going through. 2 blue on this one, 2, 3. And so you keep counting until you have your whole deck worth of blue. You split that number in half, you put that many basics into the deck, that many sources, either way, whether it's a dual or not. So you have to have that many, half that many sources, and then you do the white. So you count, then you have half that many sources, you put it in, you find out how many lands you have there. If you're above, which you most likely are, you're going to just cut down on either side until you get down to a nice number of 17. So say if you're at 20, let's say, you just take one off of white, one off of blue, one off of white, and then you're there. It's very, very simple, guys. Alright, so that's the simple version, the abridged version. It's still quite long, but that's the abridged version of how to make a sealed deck. I hope you have a lot of fun tonight, guys. Pre-release is an awesome time and a great way to learn the game. and it's a really nice way to start playing some semi-competitive games. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and of course, vote for choice. We'll see you guys.